Hi everybody, I am from Italy. My family owns a restaurant there, and that is where I learned most of my cooking. And today I'm going to teach you our family recipe for meatballs, but with a twist. I'm going to make them gluten-free and casein-free for those people who can have those ingredients. So let's get started. So this is what you're gonna need. First of all, ground beef. I get mine at Costco. Eggs. For the breadcrumbs, I use Char, which is a very good Italian gluten-free brand. Fresh Italian parsley. Fresh garlic. And then for the milk, you have two options. You can either use lactate, because it does not have any casein, or you can use just regular coconut milk, which is going to give it a little bit of a different taste, but it is very healthy. And I also use Parmigiano Reggiano. And for the tomato sauce, I use this one, which is also from Costco. So the first thing I did is I started cooking the tomato sauce because it's what takes the longest. And I cannot drop the meatballs in the sauce until the sauce starts boiling. So here I added some olive oil to a warm pot. And then I put 2 cans of tomato sauce and a can and a half of water because this particular tomato sauce is actually pretty thick. Now remember, do not add any tomato sauce that has sugar or too many spices in it. The secret is that less is more. So I don't add many spices to my cooking. It's actually mostly just salt and olive oil, sometimes some pepper. And then once the tomato sauce starts boiling, we can add some salt, and then we cover it and let it simmer on medium-low, and then we just start doing our meatballs while this cooks. Now we're gonna start making the meatballs. Here I have 3 eggs, a 1/4 cup of parsley, 1 minced garlic clove, 1 cup of fresh shaved Parmesan cheese, 1 pound of ground beef, some iodized salt, and here I have 1 cup of breadcrumbs mixed with about a 1/4 cup of milk. As I said, you can either use lactate or coconut milk. And you want to mix them together with a fork until you see a consistency that is binding but not too hard. You don't want it to look like little pebbles. But also if it looks too liquidy, then you need to add some more breadcrumbs. I'm gonna get a big bowl and add the ground beef, and then a good amount of salt until it's covered. And then I'm going to work it with a fork and add a little bit more salt inside, so I make sure that the meat has taste all over. Then I will set this aside. And in a smaller bowl, I will combine the rest of the ingredients. So first of all, I'm gonna beat the eggs. And I'm going to pour it in. I'm gonna add some salt again. Then I'm going to add all the ingredients. So first the parsley, then the garlic, Parmesan cheese, I'm going to mix it up. Then I'm gonna add some of the breadcrumbs, but I'll leave some of it for later, just in case the mixture gets too thick. here what's gonna look like. Now the fun part starts. I'm going to mix everything together. I use a fork first, just at the beginning, and then eventually I use my hands. So here's my final mixture. I actually ended up using less of the breadcrumbs because it wasn't necessary, so it's just something you have to kind of play by the ear. So here's what it looks like at the end. And now I'm wearing gloves because I am going to cook them in the tomato sauce. So what I do is I grab a small amount that fits in the palm of my hand, but you can actually do any size you like. I don't like to do them too big because I don't want them to take forever to cook, and also you don't want to make them super heavy when you're eating. And then I drop them in the sauce. Here's a version that is a little bigger. I don't make them exactly round, just because that's how my grandma used to do it, but you can do any shape really. I do it more oval, like this. So you want to drop them in the sauce and be careful not to touch them or stir them until at least maybe 20 minutes, until they've been cooking for a while, because otherwise they will break. So this is going to take about an hour and a half to cook. But you have to be careful not to get them burned because the sauce tends to stick in the bottom. So as I said, do not stir them for the first 15 to 20 minutes, and then you can start stirring them and mixing them up gently, just because you don't want them to stick to the bottom. And then every 15 minutes, stir them again until you think they're ready. If you don't know for sure, just take one and try it. But usually it's about an hour and a half. So this is gonna be the final product. After 1 hour and a half, this is what you want them to look like. Something like this. I cannot wait to eat them later. Buon appetito!